So let's start way back in the beginning of it all. When you guys first started Quest, what was the vision? What were you guys setting out to do?
If you go back to the beginning of the concept, it was being developed by a friend of ours in Zim, a guy called Harvey Laird, and he started the one in Zim in 2010, and then we got going in 2011. The thing that excited us about it was the sort of coming together of a great vision for what we could do with young people with a great location. So we sort of felt, we've got this great place, what are we going to do with it?
We wanted to make a difference, and we wanted to use the farm for a good purpose. We just felt that it was a playground for young people to enjoy life and grow and become who they could be. 1,500 hectares of freedom. And so it has to be shared with youngsters who need to run it and love it and live it.
I remember talking to Harvey, and we were sort of saying, well, wouldn't it be great if we could give young guys today that tend to be a little bit more protected and quite a lot of them living urban lives, if we could give them some sort of taste of the kind of adventurous young lives that we had when we were that age, where we seemed to have quite a lot more freedom to just go and explore, and we had these amazing adventures, and it was based on that sort of idea of creating a thing where you've got these exciting adventures with a bunch of other youngsters that you can get on with and enjoy. But in those adventures there was also always a lot of challenge, usually because things went wrong. So it created opportunities to have a lot of humor and fun and adventure, but also some of the best adventures are when things go wrong and you've got to fix a vehicle or repair punctures or all the things that can go wrong. And that was the kind of picture that we had in mind. And I think since then it's just become a lot more, I suppose, sophisticated in a way, because we've become a lot more aware of specific needs that the generation that we're dealing with tends to have. When we get Quest Boys here and we're trying to explain to them, look, this is what we're trying to do with you for the year, because they've all come in from different places, some of them better understanding than others of what it's about. We say to them, think of the qualities of a soldier, a philosopher, and a poet. So then we say, well, what are the qualities of a soldier? And that's the discipline, the hard work, the courage, the self-sacrifice, and a sense of humor, which we really talk about a lot. It's a quality of a good soldier. He's got to be able to deal with people and have humor with his mates, and not just take himself too seriously. Hugely important. It's all those sort of hard character qualities. And we say, well, we want to develop those qualities. And if you think about those qualities, they all need challenge to be developed. You don't develop courage by sitting down and doing nothing. You develop courage by being challenged to be courageous, whether it's physical courage or moral courage.
So if I could describe Quest in 3 words, I would definitely say my life's turning point. What? My life's turning... It's turning point 2 words.
For me, the hardest part about Quest would probably be at the beginning. Fitness. It was quite tough. You really do realize you can do things that you thought you'll never do in your life.
There's so many unexpected things happening. They will never tell you what's going to happen. They almost want to catch you at the most unexpected times. For example, waking up in the middle of the night and have to go on the dunes with 15 kgs on your back. So I think, it's just not expecting what's going to happen next. I think that's one of the hardest parts in my opinion.
Getting up in the mornings when it's dark and it's windy and it's cold. In the moment it might feel horrible, but afterwards it's the best feeling ever.
Quest is challenging, but it's not continuous challenge. And the whole idea is that it's a balance between challenge and achieve something, and then reward, which is celebration. And I think that's the daily cycle almost of Quest. If you look at the normal day of a quester, they get up quite early. They'll do what we call a pipe opener, which is a light physical in the morning just to get the system going. They then go in good habit, deal with their rooms, get everything in order. And then they spend about half an hour before breakfast just in a sort of a journaling time, so getting people to write and to think about some idea that we give them, usually a quote or a short talk by Sheila or one of the guides. Then breakfast, and then after breakfast it's the main skills training for the day. So those skills would cover a range of what we call technical skills, workshop skills, electrics, plumbing, vehicle mechanics, welding, woodwork, and also then some bush skills, so from weapons and hunting to some bushcraft, bush survival skills, a bit of guiding skills. You also get business skills, and the business skills is really just very practical business skills. How do you produce a budget? How do you use a spreadsheet? What are financial statements and why do you use them? And if you're an entrepreneur, what do you need to understand in terms of interpreting and making these financial statements? So really practical course on that. And then obviously the physical skills, just the physical fitness, and also something about not just getting out there and running and doing the gym and stuff, but understanding a bit of the science behind why we do it the way we do it. And then there's some add-on skills like public speaking, cooking, just some things which are really, really useful in life.
Yeah, I think Quest is not like studying and it's not like going to university. It's a whole new way of thinking. Every second or third person is getting a BCom or whatever degree they're getting, and being out here is learning new ways and learning practical things that will help you in the real world. And it's a completely new way of doing things.
When I finished matric, I decided, nah, studying is not for me. So I decided I have to do a gap year, and I wanted to challenge myself, do something I thought I never could do. I signed up for Quest, got accepted, and then I came, and here I am.
You shot 40! No way! Directly at the racket. Footy, that would have been a good shot if it was anywhere except directly at the
I would say Quest is an adventurous, fun-filled gap year. People who've been at Quest always say years later, that was the best year of my life. I wish I could just go back. Quest is a place where you don't just come and do a gap year to fill time. It's a year of character growth. And that's one of the biggest things about Quest is you don't stay the same, you grow. And in 7 months, you grow probably more than most people grow in a decade.
It's literally the perfect year to build your foundation before the rest of your life. If you're planning on studying or working straight after school, I think definitely go to Quest. It's such a good development year. It'll get you disciplined enough to have a job, to be on time for your work and to work well and efficiently. If you're planning on studying, it really just prepares you to focus your mind on the task at hand, to be disciplined with studying, getting assignments done on time. Any direction you want to go in life, it really builds a foundation for that wherever you want to go. So I would say if you want your foundation to be built for whatever you want to do for the rest of your life, come to Quest.
Every now and again we do a little thing called the Epic, which is a pretty tough activity, kind of a physical that we get tasked with. But I really enjoy the fact that each one is designed to challenge us and push us a little bit further normally than the one before. And they come out with all sorts of interesting surprises along the way that we have to push through, and it really teaches you a lot about yourself and a lot about your group and the dynamics of working with other people.
Putting 12 kgs on our back and going on a 17k hike that turned into a 23-kilometer hike because we got lost. And also we do this solo nights thing where we go out into the wild by ourselves and we're camping and we make fires and we just get to sit with our thoughts, which I feel in today's society we don't get enough of, just being by ourselves.
And then for the philosopher, that's the thinker. So that's a lot of what I talk about, but Sheila does her lessons. Her sort of specialization for most of the course is making people think. It's like we want people to think for themselves. There's so much pressure from social media, and so we really push guys, think for yourself, develop trust in your own ability to think and figure things out. You have the soldier quality of courage, and you bring that together with the philosopher ability to think. Now you're a person who can make a difference because you've got the courage to now say what you think, and you can then start to make a useful impact in the world.
We talk about the fact that we need to have a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. So we don't need to stay stuck. We can grow, we can change, we can implement things that are going to make a big difference. So as Quest plays out, it's a very structured environment, so people learn good habits because that's the structure of the day. And as they learn those habits, they start to actually enjoy the fact that they're letting go of habits that were destroying them, and they start to feel fit physically. They're eating good food. Health is really important at Quest, so people start to look healthy. Their bodies start to get strong. It's body, mind and spirit. Holistic kind of approach to young people that looks at every part of them. So I would say that the essence of Quest is really about growth in character, but it's also about the spiritual side, which then fuels that growth because it gives people the impetus and the power to actually change. The principles that are taught at Quest, they're general, universal, good principles to live by. Things like truth, integrity, honesty, transparency, authenticity, perseverance, service, love, grit, loyalty. All those things we teach. But at the same time, we also show that those principles are derived from God and that is where the power comes from to live those principles. So that isn't emphasized day by day, but that's the worldview that we have.
You don't learn anything if you're not prepared to fail. Whether they're learning how to weld or learning how to do a business plan, or if they're answering questions with Sheila on what you think about a certain topic. We just want freedom to speak and freedom to try. It's like that's the bottom line ethos of Quest. There's no criticism here for a person who tries.
When I was growing up, I always had a fear of failure or making a fool of myself. So it stopped me from experiencing and doing a lot of things. And so I thought Quest might be a perfect opportunity to try and conquer that fear and honestly just fail as much as possible and still get out on the other side. And I feel like it's been definitely lots of failures, but it's actually been probably the best thing I could have done for it.
Sure. My favorite part about Quest is the way the Quest program kind of removes distractions and just creates like a space for you to focus on yourself and personal growth, and it opens opportunities for you to learn things you never thought you would have learned before.
And then the poet is the person who's the emotion side of people. It's the ability to really enjoy life. And you know, a huge part of that we found is that when you take away cell phones, you completely reset people's ability to enjoy simple things like having fun with their mates or seeing a sunset or going out and just seeing the world around them. And we started to realize that a lot of guys, you know, increasingly, especially since the COVID years where all this accelerated, they'd kind of forgotten how to enjoy simple things. And when the cell phones are taken away for an extended time, slowly that system resets and people start enjoying things more easily. Whether it's the food they're eating or the mates they're having fun with or just going for a run in a beautiful place.
Pastimes that people used to love and now have no longer do because cell phones have taken over.
I would say my favorite part is definitely the humor. I think you see a lot of funny stuff happening at Quest. I think if you don't have humor at Quest, it's going to be a pretty tough time.
My favorite part about Quest, it has to be all the friends you make along the way. I mean, you go through all these tough times with all these different people from unique backgrounds, and we all just come together. It creates bonds that are stronger than steel.
Just to think about the word Quest, I think Quest is such a wonderful name because it implies a journey, but it's not an easy journey. It's not just a walk in the park. It's a journey that has a purpose. And if people quest in that way, knowing that you've got to go through some hard stuff because nothing worth having is easily gained, there's going to be a really good year for that person, a great experience, because they know you're going to go through hard stuff, but it's for a good purpose, and I know I'm going to come out with that treasure. And that treasure you take with you for life.